case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In 1935, the Supreme Court of the United States made a pivotal ruling in the case of Helvering v. Citibank Farmers Trust Company. At the heart of the litigations was a battle over taxation law and the power of Congress to regulate tax evasion. The origins of the lawsuit traced back to Gertrude Feldman James. In 1930, she established a trust, generous provisions that continued yielding income to Mrs. James during her lifetime, before extending to her husband and their descendants. The unique aspect of her trust was the reservation of power to modify or abrogate it, with the consent of the trustee and her husband, or his brother, in the event of her spouse's demise. Crucially, this trust persisted even at the time of Mrs. James's death, with her husband continuing to receive income from it. The main impasse emerged from whether and how to tax this trust. Controversies arose over the interpretation of Section 302(d) of the Revenue Act of 1926, as presented by the Circuit Court of Appeals. The clause required the inclusion of any property transferred by the decedent in their gross estate, if the decedent retained the power to alter, amend, or revoke the transfer at the time of their death. The Supreme Court, presided by Chief Justice Roberts, ruled in favor of the broadened interpretation of the clause. The justices underscored the Act's applicability to the trust created by Mrs. James and dismissed arguments that the law was being applied retroactively. Furthermore, they held the understanding that once a transfer is made, it is complete and subsequently beyond the grantor's control. In a landmark ruling, the verdict reversed the judgment of the Circuit Court of Appeals. In explanation, the bench upheld that the inclusion of such a trust in the gross estate was not a violation of the Fifth Amendment rights. The ruling affirmed the Congress's authority to enact provisions to counter tax evasion, underpinning the principle that the power to recall a gift can be regulated to block tax avoidance tactics. In doing so, the Supreme Court fortified the protection of revenue law from potential abuses and offered clarity to an ambiguous aspect of taxation law.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.